Alright, this is the Horror Movie Project podcast, and today we will be discussing Black Christmas 31 and Silent Night, Deadly Night. And joining me will be Dan from Reject Filmz, and this is the Crazy War Collector, or Dead Michael.
I should apologize in advance for not sharpening this thing.
So, we're going to start with Black Christmas. What did you think of this film?
I thought it was a pretty solid film. Especially for the year it came out. It was a pretty original concept and very well shot. Cinematography was great. The use of shadow in this movie was excellent. The setup, the feel of the Christmas feel to it was really good, and the use of shadow on here. I already said that. Sorry.
Yeah.
Not the use of shadow. The scene transitions were really well done as well, and just overall, just a really well-made film. The pre-slasher kind of films.
Like, I liked it a lot. And you're right, like the shadowiness with the killer, and not just that, but like the feel to that movie was just awesome. I don't know how to describe it, but it made you kind of like in that environment. You kind of stepped into it. It felt kind of like.
I mean, this was my first time watch on it, but I will say that the death of what's her name, Claire. The transition from that scene to the next scene is what probably the one that stood out to me the most. How the image stays in the screen as it transferred over.
Yeah,
and I really dug that style of filming.
I know it's on the cover too. So I mean, if you haven't, you pretty much get the idea. Right. So yeah, that's not really
That was the one kill I knew was going to happen going into it.
Yeah,
just because of, like you said, on the cover and everything, so it's not really giving anything away on that.
Yeah.
But, and...
You get the father there coming... That's kind of...
phone calls, man. That was...
Those phone calls were awesome.
Yeah.
Well, not just that, but, like, you have the dad come there, and he's freaking out, and he's, like, this proper guy that is, like, he didn't like where his daughter was. He was like, what kind of school is this? So... I don't know, but that kind of got everything going with the cops and everything, and to where it was. I don't know. It was pretty awesome. Like it's probably my favorite slasher Christmas film I've seen so far. So,
which I haven't seen too many of them. I know there's some more out there I still gotta watch, but I've only seen this one and say the remake of it or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So what do you think about the acting in here?
The acting, I thought, was pretty good for, I mean, I didn't think it was bad for its time or anything. I don't know, what did you think of it? It didn't really...
I mean, I think everybody did a pretty good job except for, I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but the kind of sluttier of the girls.
Yeah.
That was always drinking and stuff.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking. Yeah, she kind of, yeah. Now that I think of it, yeah, she was something else, and she, like, flipped out on people and stuff. I remember that.
Yeah, and talking about the turtles and stuff, I'm like, this is kind of,
Yeah.
But, Olivia Hussey was great. I mean, of course, John Saxon from Elm Street, I mean, he was awesome, even though that wasn't their first choice in the movie.
Did not know that.
Yeah. Right. The other guy, I can't remember his name, Edmund O'Brien or something like that. He was in real bad health at the time. And then I remember, he had what do you call it? I can't think of it. He couldn't remember anything. He couldn't remember his lines or anything, and died shortly after.
Oh, I gotcha.
So they kind of John Saxon in the role at last minute. So, especially for being, a little unprepared for the role, I thought he did excellent.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that most of the characters, the way they were and stuff, I think is pretty solid for the way the way it all came together, kind of. And I liked how you didn't really see much of the killer. Like, you kept thinking it was other people. It kind of kept you, like, in that suspense the whole movie. So that was kind of cool, because you're trying to figure that out. You're like, who is this guy? It's got to be, like, one of these guys walking around here. That's what you start to think, and I don't know. I just loved how demented the killer was. Like, it was just crazy.
Yeah, I think it was Claire's boyfriend. You see at the beginning of the movie.
Oh, was it?
And then you never see him again. They say bye to each other, and that was it.
Oh, really? I never caught that. I didn't think you ever found out who it was, because he kept saying his name was Billy or something.
No, I mean, they never tell you, but that's my thought if I had to guess.
Yeah. And it was kind of ended like that, too. Like, it didn't really say much, like, about the killer. Like, it just kind of, I don't know. It just, didn't really, I mean, I have to go back now and, like, watch that to see what that guy looked like. Because, I mean, you got that he's got, like, longer hair and stuff, but you don't know. I mean, you get his body shape, but you're like, who that? Yeah, I mean, you can't really figure it out. But, yeah, I thought overall, good movie. Especially, like, it's definitely a good film. I'm probably going to watch it, like, every year. Especially around Christmas.
Yeah, there wasn't anything, real cheesy about it. Back then you had a lot of cheesy horror flicks, and this was,
more of a
really well made.
Yeah, more of a serious slasher.
And the house mother for the kind of comedic relief.
Yeah.
Always sipping on a bottle somewhere.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know if I drink from the back of the toilet, but
good point.
Yeah. So, what would you give this film overall, 1 to 10?
I actually would give it a 10 because I really liked it. Like, and I don't really give a whole lot of films 10s too. So.
Yeah, and with this too, and with a lot of movies I watch, especially for the first time, I try to think of, watching this for the first time back when it came out. Not by today's standards. So. With that being said, I give it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, definitely I'd recommend this to people to watch, because you won't be able to top it with a lot of stuff out there for Christmas films, I feel like, anyhow, like slasher-wise. It's just, I don't see it. It's definitely one of the gems out there for it, I feel like.
And it delivered the kills without extreme gore. I think the only gore they showed really was the cop that was in the car.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They found.
Yeah.
With the neck slit.
Yeah.
And I mean, other than that, there was really hardly any gore. It was kind of like as much gore in the original Texas Chainsaw. People
for sure.
thought it was gory, but it wasn't.
Yeah, it kind of has that impression a little bit. Well, IMDb gave it a 7.2 out of 10. Did get what Rotten Tomatoes did too, which I don't feel like their opinion really matters, but
I don't feel anybody's opinion matters, but it's nice to hear everybody's.
Yeah, 64% is what they gave it. The audience gave it a 75% for them. I would say their audience one's a lot better than just what Rotten Tomatoes is, because I don't know, they're usually pretty low on horror films regardless. But
and how do you compare this to the remake?
A lot better. I watched the remake first before I watched this one, and
right.
I don't know. I kind of wish I would have watched this one first, because it's the remake. It feels it's like a whole different film though, because it doesn't really. Characters are just, they're not the same. It's kind of its own world in a sense, and the killer isn't even. I mean, you see him and stuff, so. They had that whole shadow thing with this film, and
that's the case with a lot of films from this decade. They really knew how to use the use of shadow, and you just don't see that anymore.
Exactly.
But, I was the same way as you. I saw the remake first, and I don't remember much about it. I just remember not really liking it, and it feeling like a cash grab off the name.
Yeah, for sure. They just pretty much, threw some chicks in there. It wasn't even. It was all in like one night with the remake, I believe, too. It was, they had issues getting to the cars, and then they had, I don't know, it compared to this film. I mean, the remake I've seen like maybe a couple times because I forgot that I saw it, so I rewatched it a couple times. But I don't know.
And you care about the characters.
Yeah, for
well.
sure. Like, I didn't care about any of the ones in the remake at all.
Right.
Yeah, it's one of those films you just want to watch people get killed, and for the remake, anyhow, it's just like one you're waiting to see who gets killed kind of next. It's kind of, I don't know. For kill-wise, I think I count like 6, or no, it was 8 kills from what I counted out of all the people that died. That's not... And like one of those kills I think was the person in the park that died, and people that you didn't even see, which I don't know if really count or not, so probably not.
Right, weren't really characters of the movie.
Yeah, they just kind of talked about him in the film. Yeah,
Right, well,
let's go to...
I don't have much else to say about this one. So.
Yeah, I was gonna go...
8 out of 10 for you and 8 out of 10 for me.
Yep, let me go to the next one. Okay, let's talk about Rob Zombie's 31.
Yeah, 31. One of my most anticipated movies of the year, actually.
Yeah, I was looking forward to this one. I got amped up about it back when Rob Zombie had the whole fan bagger thing on his site, because he had, we're going to have the fans pretty much pay for the film, and I was like, oh, it's going to be awesome. He can do whatever he wants. And then, I don't know. So I was pretty amped up.
Right. I mean, I'm a huge Rob Zombie fan. Ever since I was a kid listening to, Astro Creep and everything, and, House of Thousand Corpses came out, and, I love that movie. Devil's Rejects, my favorite movie of all time. So I was really pumped for this one, and saying that it was the closest thing to Devil's Rejects that he's done since.
I thought it was going to be a whole different film. I didn't even know anything about it going in. I had no clue. So I thought it was going to be kind of like Devil's Rejects, going around with killer clowns. So I'm like, this is going to be awesome.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. All I'd heard was something about Murder World and clowns. And I'm like, yeah, it's going to be great. It's Rob Zombie's back to his roots,
Yep.
But, so what's your positives on this film?
The Doomhead guy was cool. He was my favorite character out of the whole film. Other than that, I didn't care anything about any of the other ones. Right,
that was my main problem with this film as well, man.
Characters was killing it for me. Yeah, the story wasn't. It really wasn't much of one. I mean, they were carnies, or I don't know what they were. Maybe they were like escape artists or what. They didn't really explain it, really. They were just kind of in the van, traveling around, town to town, doing their performances or whatever they were doing for money. But it was just kind of that group going around. And yeah, I would say if I had to like one of the other characters, it'd be Jamaican dude. But that's about it. Like, for victims in the story, if you had to...
That you actually cared for.
Yeah, not even that much, though, is the thing. Like, if I had to pick two. Other than that, not a whole lot. I mean, the gore and stuff was cool. I like Doomhead's weapons. I mean, it was kind of creative a little bit. The way he killed people and stuff. I don't know. He was... I don't know, I feel like they should have just had more of him in this film, because he was only in the beginning and the very end, and then, yeah, the rest of the clowns I could care less about, really, so, besides, the ones that I hated the most out of the clowns was, that German clown that was lame, it was just, I didn't really like him, he was screaming,
I can't remember his name.
Yeah, it's not important.
Yeah, the one that was with Sex Head.
Yeah. Yeah, that guy...
I completely agree. He was quite annoying.
He was the worst one, yeah. Out of all of them. And, I don't know, I feel like he should have been more heartless. These clowns, they've done this before. I feel like they should have. I mean, I don't know how many people they've killed prior to this, but you would think that they would be like so desensitized over their own kind getting killed, or I just don't see them having much emotion towards really much. Because I mean, if they're constantly killing, and I don't know how long they've been doing it, but it just felt like they were amateurs at it. Like they didn't. Like you get the impression that they haven't really killed a whole lot of people because those guys got taken out pretty quick. So yeah, I didn't really.
I mean, I enjoyed all the killers except for the ones that we just talked about. You know, I think it was Murderhead was his name, but
yeah,
you know, I really liked Stickhead. I thought he was. I mean, he had me rolling. I thought he was hilarious. You know, and Rob Zombie wanted him to speak in Spanish, and he thought it would add to the role, and I think it really helped his role. You know, speaking Spanish instead kind of came off a little more aggressive or something that way.
Yeah, that was cool at first, but he got kind of. I felt like he kind of like they had too much of him. Like in the beginning, like I feel like they should have shortened that part up with him so they could have got more of Doomhead. But that's just I don't know. Like I feel like they should have tried to. Because other ones went so quick. Because the only ones you really saw, I'd say, is like the little Nazi guy, and then you saw the rest of them. But they were so quick that I don't know. I would say you'd see him and Doomhead the most, but it's just because Doomhead's in the beginning and the end of the movie that I don't know. Like out of the clowns that you saw.
I don't know if they were brothers or what they were, but was it Psychohead and Schizohead?
Yeah.
With the chainsaws. I felt Lou Temple, who played the Psychohead, which I'm a big fan of his. I love his work, you know, on Walking Dead and Devil's Rejects and everything. And to me, his role in this felt like Rob Zombie was looking for that Otis character with these smart-ass comments and, you know, the longer hair, and he was just like reaching out for that Otis character in this movie. Did you feel that at all?
Yeah, I did too. Yeah, they might as well just put Otis in it. Really, that's what they should have done if he wanted to do that so much. But I know what you mean. Yeah, he kind of did have that look. Like they tried to do it, but it was kind of like he just wasn't as cool as if it was Otis. This movie would have gone up in rating for me, but. It wasn't, so I don't know. I know what you mean because I've seen him in other stuff too, and I don't know. I just feel like I don't know. Like a lot of these characters, they weren't in the movie that long. Like they weren't like that's like the same with the victim side is like you didn't really get to build any like feelings towards a lot of them or how you felt about certain characters because they went so quick. You know. They're
supposed to feel for Sherry Moon's character the most, you know, having the most screen time, but you didn't because she cannot act outside of Devil's Rejects and outside of the corpse.
I completely agree. Yeah, I'm not a fan of her really.
In a serious role, she needs to stay out of film.
Yeah.
You know?
They should have her. I mean, it would have been fine if she was like at a gas station, like as one of the people or something. But having her in the that's what I hate because. Every movie, he puts her as like one of the males.
Well, yeah, I mean the characters, like you said, we just didn't care about really any of the characters. So when deaths occurred, it meant nothing.
Exactly, and Malcolm McDowell, I was expecting more from him too. I was thinking he was going to be like a bigger part, and he really wasn't.
I mean, he did solid for the role that he was cast for.
Yeah,
but nothing stood out.
No.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like they had so much cool settings and, like, the sceneries and stuff, they could have done some cool stuff. Like, with the way that cathedral was or whatever it was, like that theater or whatever it was where they started the game, they could have made it pretty awesome. They could have done some kills in there or something. I mean, they had some cool areas they could have filmed, but they chose not to. Like, they chose to do not much with them. I feel like, you know, they could have done something bizarre with that, maybe burnt it or done something crazy, I don't know. They just had some cool, like, places to film at and kind of wasted them.
And I think all but two people in this movie, if I remember correctly, were in another Rob Zombie film. So he's bringing back the same people from his other films over and over again. With some of the characters, you know, it's fine with. You know, the bus driver, or not the bus driver, but the RV driver of the RV, you know, was the guy selling the chickens, and that was rejects. You know,
that guy was pretty funny. Yeah.
You know, and when they pull up to that, you know, when they first pull up to that roadblock, that was kind of reminiscent of, you know, House of Thousand Corpse. You know, and a lot of the screenshots, the still frame images, you know, and a lot of the cinematography, he went back to those two movies and shot it the same way as those two, and just didn't have the same feel though.
No, it didn't. It did not. Like, and I was wondering, did he get the guy from House, the chicken dude, him, and then that one girl that the guy was like banging in the back the whole time? They kind of did they get killed off there, or what happened to them?
Yeah, they get killed off right there in the van.
That was like, I feel like they should have thrown them in the game. I mean, they'd had more kills, but oh well, that was just wasted.
And the other main guy, you know, forget his name, the guy with the sideburns and everything. I don't think his acting was that great either.
Yeah. Yep. I agree too. He was in Lords of Salem. I think the first one Rob Zombie put him in, which I didn't like. Lords of Salem.
The old lady.
Yeah. I didn't like her either. They should have like her. They could have just. They need better characters. Like, they should have had some cooler people. Like, they should have had like a badass dude, or you need a guy like an Ego or something. They should have just had something to kind of make the film go together more.
Yeah, I mean, what's funny is that, you know, Richard Drake, you know, Doomhead,
yeah,
the best character. From watching the bonus features on here, he was completely fought on casting him for that role. Everybody told him about the cast. And that was the only good decision Rob Zombie made in the film that everybody was against.
They were all against it?
Right. Everybody working on the film was against having him in that role.
Wow. That was like the thing that made the movie... That was like the only cool parts. Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
So, what's your overall rating of this film?
I would give it a 5. I mean, out of 10, and I don't know. Like, I tried to figure out what was wrong with this film too. Like, I tried to look it up. I looked at other reviews and stuff, and just nothing like really. I don't know. I just couldn't. It didn't click. It didn't click like the movie you thought it was going to be. And my question is too: is the fan backers, the people that paid for all this stuff? Because I know that you could be like an extra in this film for like $5,000. He had. There's like 5 of them. I want to know who those guys were. Were they the dudes that kidnapped them, or who were they? Because like. I didn't see a whole lot of extras.
I mean, from what I looked up and from what I've heard, that, you know, Rob Zombie lost interest in this movie. His heart wasn't in this movie, and you know, he had a lot of potential for it, and just kind of lost interest in it. And if you watch through the making of it, you see parts where he's, you know, oh, we don't have time to do this. We don't have time to set this up right. Just, you know, go with that. So there's a lot of stuff he's like, you know, this will be fine. You know, it's not what we want, but just do it.
Yeah,
so I think that killed the movie.
Yeah, for sure. It felt unfinished, really. I mean, the movie did in general.
So yeah, I mean, I give this film, I give it a 6 out of 10, just a little bit higher than you.
Yeah.
Just for the killers. I mean, I love all of them except for the guy and the girl couple.
Yeah. They were just kind of like, those kills were, I think they just kind of added those two. They didn't fit at all with the other ones. Like, they were just like, what are we going to do? Well, do these two. Yeah. I mean, I just feel like they were, something about those two. I don't know. Like, the girl would have been good if they would have put her with somebody else. Because there's just the big dude that, I don't know.
Right. I mean, she was the one that planned the whole, you know, hijacking of the RV. You know, she found out all their information. So she had to appear again in the movie somewhere.
Exactly, yeah. If she was with another... It was just that one dude, the German guy, he... Lame.
Yeah, I I'm glad I'm not alone on that.
For sure. Yeah, the Chainsaw Brothers are cool and stuff, and I don't know. I mean, it's just you didn't see much of them. That's what killed it for me. It's just, I don't know. But yeah, that's pretty much 31 for you. It's not exactly what you were I was hoping for like an 8 or a 9 is what I had like high expectations. I was hoping for like another Devil's Rejects is what I was hoping for, but I had too high.
I don't think we'll ever see another one of that.
No, I don't think so. I don't know. That's kind of
give it that 70s feel the same way.
Yeah.
It just, I mean, I think the Jamaican guy as well. You know, his Jamaican accent was a little too strong. Was trying a little too hard.
Yeah.
I mean, I work with a guy from Jamaica myself, and it's not anything like that. I mean, I'm sure there's different accents from different areas of over there, but I felt he was really reaching.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. You have to settle for, like, the characters if you had to like them. I mean, that's kind of how I felt. Like, it was hard to even pick one of, I mean, in a sense. Like, he was the only one that I felt like, out of all of them, like, that was kind of smarter, because the rest of them were just, I don't know. The guy with the sideburns, I didn't like him at all. Like,
yeah.
Like,
so,
yeah.
5 out of 10 for you, 6 out of 10 for me.
Yep, and I wrote down what IMDb gave it a 5 out of 1. But that could change because it's a newer film, and I mean, I think when it had it like the theater, when they had it show for like a couple nights, I know it was like one night randomly, and they had like another night. Like he would do it weird. It was weird because he would do it like 3 times. I think he put it in theaters before, or maybe it was 3 or 2. I don't know, but I remember him. He's like, it's going to go back to theaters. I never was able to see it in the theater because it was days I had to work, so. I mean, it was like Thursday night or something. It's like, come on, I can't go to that.
Yeah, it was always released on a Wednesday or Thursday night, something like that.
Yeah.
I wasn't able to make it either. And, of course, it was available on Vudu and stuff beforehand as well. But for $10 to rent.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it free because I went to Family Video, and they're like, we haven't seen you in a long time. So they're like, free rental. And it was normally $3 to rent there, or Redbox had it for $1.50, but the Redboxes that had it weren't around where I am. I'd have to travel a little bit, so I didn't really feel like doing that.
So what's the Rotten Tomatoes score there?
The Rotten Tomatoes is 50. Audience got 39% on it. So
we seem to be in about agreement with the Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, it seems to be. Yeah, same with, well, IMDb gave it a 5 also, but 5.1. I mean, and I was looking at some of the reviews on there, and everyone was like practically bashing it. Like they were pretty mad. Most of them.
I think that's the main thing, is it was more, not that it was a terrible film, it was just more of a letdown. Yeah,
for sure. I think that's what, like, because that's what kind of bugged me the whole day. I was like, what happened? I don't know, like, it got to me because I was expecting, something completely different.
And who knows if there's maybe, an uncut version out there that he'll release farther down the line with some longer footage or something.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I'd probably watch it to see if it make the film a lot, because it feels like a lot's cut out of it or something. It's not all there.
But if a director loses interest in what he's doing,
yeah,
it's not going to be a great film.
Exactly. All right, let's go to the last film on our list here. It's Silent Night, Deadly Night. And another Christmas slasher film here. It was released in 1984, I believe. So.
Correct.
Yep. I probably should have wrote, or like, obviously 31 was 2016, and then the other one I had it written down. I just didn't read it.
74.
Yeah. All right. So
another first time watch for me on that one. Yeah.
I actually bought it on DVD with the combo pack. I got both movies. Yeah, the director on this one was like Charles Seller or something. I don't know. I can't say his last name.
Right, Charles Seller.
Yeah, and then
Seller or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I probably should have said directors and writers for all these, but oh well, they can. The fan.
Well, we know 31 to Rob Zombie, and
yeah.
Black Christmas was Bob Clark, who also directed Christmas Story and Porky's and kind of went the other route afterwards.
And the writer on this one too was Paul Camion, or I can't. I'm gonna butcher last name, so I'm not gonna.
I'm terrible with names too. It's fine.
All right.
But yeah, first time watch for me, and I love the setting of this movie. I thought the setting was the perfect Christmas setting. You know, everything felt Christmassy about this, and you know, overall, it's just, you know, has that feel throughout the whole entire thing. You know, once it gets going.
Yeah, for sure. And well, I mean, even the beginning, like, you get kind of what makes this guy who he is. Like, he has to go to the orphanage and be raised up there, kind of, and whatnot, with his brother. But yeah,
and I mean,
nothing.
Another one too. You have to take into consideration of the time it was made.
Yeah.
And what was out at that time.
Exactly. Yep, and then it really all starts kind of like when he gets that job with Mr. Sims, I think, hiring him as boss. But yeah, it's kind of like when the movie really gets going, because before that it's just him as a kid, and I don't know.
Right, before he gets a job playing Santa, it didn't do anything.
No, it's just mainly him going back to that flashback when he was a kid.
But you gotta have the backstory. I mean, you can't just start the movie and not know why he's
the way he is,
in the mental state of mind that he is.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it kind of bothered me how much they showed that flashback, you know? I got kind of tired of seeing just that scene over and over.
Gotcha.
But, I mean, then again, I don't know how many times I would flash back to something like that if it happened to me, but...
Yeah. Yeah, they really wanted to get you to know that story a lot, because they kept playing it.
Kind of disturbing for a kid to flash back to that, and you're flashing back to seeing your mom's breasts as well.
Yeah, exactly. I know that the carjacker or whatever he is / robber, and wasn't that all on Christmas Day, or was it Christmas Eve when all that took place? It was one of the two. That night, Christmas Eve, probably.
I think it was Christmas Eve. They were on their way somewhere. So.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, I think his acting was terrible until he became the killer.
Yeah.
And it was like a completely different person playing this role.
Yeah, acting wasn't much for him, like, when he was the start of it, like, until he became the role of Santa. That's when it kind of all changed, like, when he got, because he was a stock boy in the back, and then they're like, you're going to be Santa now. And then when he put on that beard, he was like somebody else. Like, you didn't really see maybe it was because he was covered, you didn't really see his acting, but I don't know. But he was like a whole different person, because he morphed into that, like, I don't know, pretty much that Santa that he saw a long time ago. He pretty much became him, and then kind of had that religious structure into him too, which he knew stuff was bad, so he was like, he'd always say like naughty all the time.
Right. Yeah. So what do you think about the kills in this movie?
I mean, the ones in the toy store are pretty cool. Like, I liked it where he picked the guy up with the Christmas lights. That was cool. They're just kind of, I mean, out of other movies, but like, if I was gonna base them off those, like, they were just kind of, like, some of them were kind of cool. Like, the other cool one that I'd put in a note is the one where he puts the girl up on the antlers. Right. That was awesome, yeah. Like, some of those...
Where she answers the door topless.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, those were cool, but the rest were just pretty much your standard, almost. But, like, there was some really ones that stood out, and the one with the sled was cool, too. So, I guess, yeah, that was cool with the head getting chopped off when the guy was going down the sled, just having a good time. That was just funny.
Right. Exactly. I mean, for that time as well. I mean, those are pretty unique kills.
Yeah. For sure. Like, those are the ones that really stood out. Like, But yeah, they're a lot. Now I think of it, like they're better than your standard ones. But
I mean, it's better than even some of the stuff that comes out today. You know?
exactly, it's more creative.
They were a little more creative. Yeah, exactly. Creative back then. You know, they were willing to take chances and stuff, and didn't just play it safe to make money. And that's what I love about films of this era is they did it for the love of film and not just for cash grabs.
Yep. Yeah.
I watched the unrated the Blu-ray of it with the added scenes, which kind of I don't know, the quality to the added scenes wasn't like remastered or anything, so
oh really?
It would go back and forth between how good the quality was. So I hear that the DVD that you watched is actually the better one to view.
That's surprising. But oh well.
But at least doing that, I know what was added to it.
Yeah, for sure.
What was supposed to be in there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always cool seeing different, different cuts of it if they release them or not.
What's your take on the rest of the acting on here?
Nothing like too great. I mean, the store guy was okay. I mean, nothing. Just your I really acting wise, the thing I really focused on was the kill. I guess with all the kills and stuff, I was more focused on him killing people. I guess, but yeah, before that, acting's just okay. It's nothing special, but I don't know. I'm guessing you didn't Did you like the acting on it, or?
I mean, I'm in agreement with you on that.
Yeah.
Everybody was just kind of there, and they did their roles fine. Nothing spectacular, but
nothing. Yeah, crappy either. Super bad, but.
Right. And what's your overall score on here?
I'm actually thinking I don't know. Originally I had an 8, but I'm actually thinking I don't know. Thinking about it, if I was gonna go back and rewatch this, I don't really think it'd have the same effect as the first time. It's one of those films where the first time's gonna be the best because when you watch it again, it's not. I don't know. Rewatchability.
Which is interesting because from what I hear, it's a movie that grows on you more.
Really?
That's what I've heard from a lot of people. Because a lot of people don't like it at first, and then it grows on them.
Gotcha.
But
I don't know. I'd probably go with the 7.5. I mean, I thought it was pretty cool for slasher wise, but yeah, I mean, if you're gonna compare it to Black Christmas or something, yeah, there's better films to watch, but it's still. I liked it as a slasher because it was.
But going into it, it's not going to be a serious movie like Black Christmas. It's going to be more of a horror comedy.
Yeah, good point.
A serious one, so you got to take it for what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something you can have a good time with and not really have to pay attention to, and just kind of have on, and it's an easy watch.
Yeah. Yep.
With that in mind, I give this probably close to you. I give that 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
And we'll see where it grows from there.
Yep. Because I was debating on the rating really for a while, and I just didn't you don't really know what to rate. You get that feeling, you're I'm not sure at first. I don't know. After you see it, maybe if you watch it a couple times, it might. Yeah, I don't know, or it might get worse. Who knows? Maybe I'll try watching this with Black Christmas every year and see if it grows on you. We'll see.
I try not to really, rate my films anymore on YouTube when I do reviews. I just kind of give the positives and negatives.
Yeah.
I don't really like giving ratings, but I mean, it does kind of help people when you do that. So.
For sure. Well, IMDb gave it a 5.9, and Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 31%, and audience gave it a 39%. So,
yeah, I think this is one that's more loved in the B horror community, and not from the mainstream.
Yeah, for sure.
It's definitely a cult following type film.
Yeah. And the remake or whatever, if you had to watch, like, you're obviously, or whatever, the remake's not bad. It's not a horrible, like, it's just Silent Night, I believe it's called, but if you had to watch one of the two, I'd probably watch this one, just because you have to kind of, I mean, the first one's kind of like, just what you'd want to, the kills aren't the same in the remake anyhow, so it's not, I don't know.
No, it's a completely different movie.
film,
I think it
yeah.
just carries the title.
Exactly, and the Santa's completely, yeah, if you think about it.
And if I remember correctly, there's not the environment's not nearly the same. I don't believe there's hardly any snow, and if there is, it's, you know, obvious fake snow.
Yeah, and they don't really explain the killer, from what I remember either, so it's just kind of like him going around doing it. Yeah, for sure.
I don't have much else to say about this one besides, you know, it's a good one to keep in rotation every year for the holidays. I mean,
For sure.
There's not a lot of horror Christmas movies out there,
Nope.
and a lot, especially ones worth, you know, watching.
Exactly. For sure, because, I mean, how many slasher Christmas ones do you have that are actually good compared to, I mean, there's so many now that are, like, you get excited for them, and then they're just not what you expected. Like, there was one I bought recently, it was like Deadly Xmas. It was cool, like, the artwork was cool on the, like, they had it for, like, get, like, a VHS and a DVD with it, and the VHS cover art was awesome, and then you watched it and you're like, this is complete crap.
And that's what sold those movies back in the day, was that cover art. You know, you walk through the video store and you gotta get it because of that cover art.
Exactly, yeah. They're trying to, like, do the same thing today, like, with the cover art, but it's just not working because, like, you don't know which one to pick, because you'll be on, like, Netflix or whatever, and you'll be looking around and you'll be like, you know, there's just so many.
Back in the day, you could just get your phone out and see what the ratings were. That's all you had to go by was that cover art.
Exactly, and you'd probably ask,
friends.
yeah, you'd ask the clerk, is this good, or what? I mean, you wouldn't really know. All right.
All right, so I think we're pretty much in agreement on this one. You know, we get, what, 7.5 out of 10 and 7 out of 10 for me.
Yep, pretty much.
So I believe that is
the wrap.
That is it.
Yep. That will be the end of our episode, our very first episode we've ever done. Hope you guys tell me what you guys think. Give us comments, whatever, and tune in next time.